Thank you, everybody. I'm really honored that General Mattis came here to present this award. I'm not the smartest guy in the room here. I'm not the smartest person in sign. But through our combined efforts, we have treated more than 200,000 patients. Our diversity is our strength. And one of my favorite sayings is, diversity trumps ability. And therefore, we've moved forward to become one of the foremost fracture treating organizations in the world. The Sign family comprises all the people who have helped us, who have contributed to Sign. And I accept this award on behalf of the Sign family because all of you have helped. All of the surgeons overseas have contributed, and I'm very honored to have a chance to work with you. The Sign family is made up of essentially 5 different groups. The first is my family. I'm very happy and grateful to Sarah, my wife, who took care of 2.5 daughters when I was in Vietnam. And there's the half right there. I'm grateful to the family. I'm grateful to all of you and for your help. The second group is the Sign staff. Our Sign staff is throughout the audience. They have their Sign shirts on. All of you have been very, very talented and contribute your talents toward our mission. The Sign staff is led by Jean Donor, whom you heard earlier. She has done a wonderful job. She has been with us since we started in 1999 and continues to lead our Sign staff and to organize the Sign staff to be a very effective unit because we all contribute in different ways. And it's a pleasure for me to come to Sign every day and see how things are going and have talks with the Sign staff. The third group are the Sign surgeons. The Sign surgeons number about 7,000 now, and they're continuing to increase. They're from 50 developing countries. We have over 300 programs, and these surgeons, in my opinion, and I'm prejudiced, are the best in the world. Except for the military surgeons of the United States. Especially the Marines. Yeah. But they have increased their capability. They started not knowing how to do this kind of surgery. And they have increased their capability very progressively to become great surgeons. This was evident when we were in Kenya. Compared with 5 years ago, they're doing excellent surgery, and they're doing surgery on more complex problems, such as pelvic fracture surgery. And I was so proud that one of the teachers in pelvic fracture surgery was a Sign surgeon from Ethiopia, teaching them. And this is our goal, that we spread through our surgeons. The fourth group of people are our donors. Our Sign has to continue through donations. Our budget is between $5 and $6 million a year, and rising because we start 30 new programs every year. And we're also into treating more difficult fractures, such as pelvic fractures. And now we're finding there's more deformities, so that requires another set of instruments, and therefore we're into deformity correction. So we're moving forward with our Sign surgeons and with our donors who help us a great deal toward that goal. And the final and largest group are the patients. It's just such a joy to review the database every day and find we have a sign that your fracture's healed when you can squat and smile. And we did this because all of them can't afford x-rays as many times as we would like to have them. And so the squat and smile, so far I've only seen one patient who's gone on to non-healing if they can squat and smile. And to see those smiling faces, people like the 3 Maasai women, there's one of them over there who had fractured femurs for 5 years. They had crawled everywhere they went because they couldn't afford medical care. To see little kids with deformities corrected by sign, and to see just the many people, many of whom are parents, that have had the opportunity for us to treat. And I look on this as an opportunity and an honor to treat these people. I'm very grateful, and this award means much more because General Mattis came here to present it. If you want some inspiration, read about General Mattis. He has read the history of the areas and where he's going to use, such as the 1st Marine Division in Iraq. He read about Alexander the Great, and he brought in all of the things that you can learn from the past, because people don't change that much. And de Tocqueville was right. If we don't, as he mentions, that we must remain a good country. We have great potential, and we're still working toward that potential. But General Mattis has read about history, and I'm sure was successful on that basis. The other very outstanding trait about General Mattis, which I appreciate, is he's egalitarian. He takes advice from all members of his command, all the way down to the enlisted men and to the privates. And I think that's very important. And I think General Mattis would agree that diversity trumps ability, because he takes this from all the many people, those on the front lines, those on the rear echelons, and all the people involved in an operation, so they can be successful. We're very grateful about that, very grateful, that he treats everybody equally. And as General Mattis mentioned, sign began in Vietnam. I was there in 1968, and I was a liaison, a commanding officer of a K team, that liaison between our medevac unit and our hospital. Our hospital was known in the U.S. military as being the best hospital in Vietnam. Colonel Patton would not send his men to any other hospital. So we took good care of our U.S. military. And our helicopter detachment crews risked their lives to pick up the Vietnamese civilians also. We were told to send these civilians to another hospital, but it wasn't adequate. And after treating the commander of forces at Dak To, Colonel Fix, I took the opportunity to ask our commanding officer of the hospital if I could treat the Vietnamese in our hospital. And they had some meetings, and they decided it was okay. General Mattis has, and I'm very humbled that you know this. Back then we used Quonset huts because the Viet Cong decided they could come in and knock out the generator of a MASH unit tent, and it would collapse. So we used, therefore, Quonset huts. And we treated many, many people. I'm very grateful to all the people along the evac chain, because we had to treat these patients definitively. U.S. military were sent back to Japan and the United States for internal fixations and definitive care, but we treated them definitively, and they did very well. General Mattis also referred to the 10-year-old boy. He came in with a napalm burn, and he couldn't move his knee past 90 degrees. He was fixed at a 90-degree angle. He couldn't walk, and that's terrible for a 10-year-old boy. We worked together. We pulled his knee out straight through traction in 2 different directions. And as he walked away with his father, I looked at the mango that his father had given me with a thumbprint still in it. And I thought, this is the best gift I've ever received. And I wanted to continue that. And that was the start of sign. The sign journey has not always been successful. The man in the bed there, I taught in Indonesia for 10 years. And the Army was nice enough to let me take my leave there and provide me with material. And that man, I met that man after I returned to Vietnam and went back to Indonesia. He's laying in that bed for 3 years. His family quit coming to see him because they couldn't afford the hospital charges. He was despondent and distressed, and I looked at his x-ray, and I said, this is a fracture that you could have treated. And the surgeon said, I know how to treat it, but he can't afford an implant. And also, we can't use the implants you're sending over here by container because they're for use in the United States. We have power surges. We cannot use power equipment such as instant imaging in the operating room or power reamers. And therefore, I realized with a sinking feeling I had failed that man. And I realized that in order to be effective, we had to develop a model of education plus donation. It can't be sold. Donation of instruments and implants to implement the education and treat the fractures. And this is what we've done. We came back here and started in the proverbial garage. I see some of our original friends who worked with us and developed a way to do this without C-arm, without imaging. And it's been very successful. We've continued to innovate it. We're never satisfied. We've continued, our IT team is looking into better ways to evaluate our fracture and improve. And we'll make periodic paradigm changes in our treatment so that it's very effective. And it has been. We work with the military, as you can see in your handout, but they don't mention we're on the Comfort because the Comforts, USN Comfort, during the Haiti earthquake, their C-arms failed, so they needed our implants. We worked throughout the world with the military, and we are very proud of that. So I really thank General Mattis for coming here. I thank him for being who he is, and a man who looks at everybody equally and brings others in to make decisions as he prepares for his different jobs. And I'm sure his present job is not too easy. And I respect him for preserving our country. Because decisions that are made must be proper at this time, especially in this time in the world. So I'm grateful to General Mattis. I'm grateful to all of you that came, and I thank you.